So welcome to our practice. I'm going to start today with a drop of Gaiac wood, which is a new oil through doTERRA. It's the essential oil basically of Palo Santo wood, which if you know anything about is really magical for protection and some clearing. And I'm mixing that with a drop of Spanish sage, which is a great meditation oil. So protective and then grounding, rooting. And just taking those, rubbing them together. And if you don't have an oil, just imagine an aroma that makes you feel calm and grounded, or that makes you feel an emotion that feels good. And then just maybe place your hands in front of your face and take a few nice slow breaths. Maybe it's inhaling a deep field of lavender, or the clearing and cleansing of eucalyptus. Take one more nice slow breath in. Beautiful. And then maybe just take your hands, rubbing them over the forehead and through the hair, that natural diffuser energy. I love putting oils in my hair, my arms, neck and chest, my shirt. So whenever I'm moving, it comes up for me and gives me another beautiful benefit of that aromatherapy. And then just draw yourself into your tall seat and lift up through the crown, feel long and tall, gently squeezing in through the abdominal lock, and then just softening through the shoulders as you lift up through the crown, feeling the length. Maybe the eyes close, or maybe they're just drawing to one focal point. Another word for that would be a drishti. So your gaze, your focus, your drishti. Where the attention goes, the energy flows. So this is where we're going to start digging into not just our physical view, but our internal connection. If you have an intention or a seed, something that you'd like to plant into this week, into this practice, into your mind, body, spirit, energy connection for healing, for awareness, for instruction, for guidance, for whatever it might be, just taking a few nice slow deep breaths and drawing your attention to that thing, the process, the feeling, whatever it might be within you that you'd like to welcome. Imagining, if you will, you're having a big feast, you're having a celebration, a party, and you go to open the front door and you're welcoming in your guests, you're welcoming in the energy that you'd like to have present and the people that you'd like to share this with and the feeling that you'd like to create. And we're doing that same thing with our intention today. As we open the door, we welcome in this space, this thought, this feeling, the people, the connection, the desire that we have within our minds, and welcome it into our energy, into our physical body, into our thoughts and our breath, into our hearts and our spirits. And so take a nice slow breath in. Draw all that in. Take a moment to squeeze and hold the breath in. Squeeze through your pelvic, lock your belly. Pull everything gently in and up towards the heart center. And then exhale, empty. And two more just like that. Inhale through the nose. Squeezing all the way up. Maybe even your eyes come up to the third eye, attention point. Hold. And exhale out the mouth. One more time. Inhale. Squeeze and hold it in. Pull in from the pelvic floor all the way up through the chakra meridians to the crown this time. Feel the energy lifting all the way up, getting taller as you feel light moving out through the crown, squeezing through the pelvic floor and the base chakra, just for 3, 2, and exhale, empty. Nice. Take just a moment here in our seat to find stillness. Your hands can be either palms facing down on your thighs or perhaps up. Or if you like, you can draw your hands into a cosmic mudra, which is the left hand on top of the right with the thumbs to connect, and just letting them rest into your lap. Still lifting up through the crown. And then the eyes can either be gazed downward towards the ground in front of you, or maybe your eyes are closed gently. If closing them all the way doesn't feel secure or safe, if it's too much, you can always just kind of let them flutter and look through the eyelashes, maybe turning the lights down in your mind. breathing naturally in and out throughout the nose, and just doing a scan of your body. This mental and physical scan, any awareness, anything that comes to your attention today, anything that feels tight or stiff or stuck. Maybe you're working on opening up through the lungs and clearing out phlegm. It's that time of year. Maybe you're working on recovering or supporting an injury or a recovery within your body, a healing, and just taking a moment of awareness of how you feel here. And any areas that feel stuck, that feel like they need some attention or that are challenged, I'd like for you to open the door and welcome in your intention into that space in your body. And so imagine you're opening the door to your lungs, opening the door to your shoulder or your low back or wherever you feel the tension in your body. And welcome in the intention, the energy supporting that part of the body. The feeling and the celebration of ease, of strength, of connection. This is where our attention is just for a few moments here, welcoming and inviting the support of your angels, your guides, your creator, whatever energy it might be for you, just drawing attention and awareness into the places that might need some support today. And if you feel 100, awesome. Send some of that energy out to someone else who might need it. Imagine you just being a beautiful mirror reflecting energy outward to those who might be going through some challenge, some stress, or some trauma. Breathe. Nice. Gently raising the hands up, draw them over the heart just for a moment. Just resting them over the chest. I think the eyes are closed or again dim. And then thank yourself for being present, for being open and vulnerable. Thank your guides, your source, your energy, your angels, ancestors, whoever it might be, for their support, for being with you in this space, in this time. And for all that you're going to receive through your practice today, and all that you're going to release through your practice today, that we come that much more in line with our highest and best outcome, and more open to receiving that which helps to guide and support us, to ground us and root us, and to help us to elevate. So just a moment of gratitude and appreciation. Nice. When you're ready, we'll inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, the hands come through heart center. Releasing the hands back to the knees. Finding this comfortable seat, you can stay on your block or your cushion, and we're just going to take a few Sufi grinds. And so we're just going to inhale forward and exhale back and around. And the pace goes with the breath. So inhaling forward and exhaling back. And imagine, if you will, that you are a big, beautiful bowl, and we're trying to scrape the edges, all that beautiful batter off of the edges of the bowl. So feel the locomotion through the rib cage, the chest. Feel a little bit of the cat-cow energy happening through your spine as you're moving forward and back. And feeling the motion through the hips and the shoulders and the chest. Trying to keep your crown kind of over center and just letting the torso move around. Just 3 or 4 more. If you want to pick the pace up, you can, or you can stay the nice and intentional, connected and slow. And then we're going to gently rotate directions. So it's reverse, inhaling forward, exhaling back. Starting slow. Maybe finding speed with intention, not just speed for speed, but speed for the breath, for the connection of building fire and tapas, the heat in the body, and opening through the circulatory system. I have a gentle energy pressing down through my hands to keep my torso lifted so I'm not dipping forward, keeping the spine tall, and feeling that beautiful locomotion through the rib cage. So coming forward, sticking the chest up and out, and going back, hollowing the belly, feeling that cat-cow energy. Just a few more moments. One more time. And then coming to neutral spine, just finding the seat tall for a moment. Close the eyes. Lift up through the crown, round the shoulders back, and just letting the hands and shoulders be heavy down the spine, down the back. Observing the motion that's happening within the body. You might still feel some swirling through the midsection, kind of as all of the residue is moving down the edges of the bowl and coming down to the base, that pelvic floor of the bowl. And just feel that flow, that kind of funnel of energy that's happening. From here, I'd like for you to squeeze through the pelvic floor, so that pelvic lock, the Kegel muscles, or through the base chakra, pulling up and in, feel that squeezing. And then that gentle rounding in as we activate through our abdominal muscles. So this whole lower section's engaged. I like to call this the bowl of light, the space between the pelvic floor up into the rib cage. And so this entire beautiful bowl is squeezing in and gently up. And breathing in and out through the nose. Nice. Feel the connectivity there. If you have a block underneath you or a cushion, go ahead and gently release it. We're going to stay on our seat. I'm just going to come to a little slight angle so it's a little easier to see. So sitting crisscross applesauce, your hands can either be flat down or you can put your fists down, whatever feels better for you. If you have two blocks and the ground feels far away, or if you have shortened arms, I'm not saying that to be silly, but if you feel like you're not getting a good connection with the ground, you can always put blocks next to you and use the blocks for bringing the earth closer. These are a way to open through our base chakra and through that energy that we've been squeezing in and up. And so we're going to do these little tiny lifts and drops. And so we're just going to inhale up, exhale down. And so the bottom drops is basically what's going to happen is your pelvic floor and through the base, your buns and the undercarriage is going to hit the ground with a little bit of energy. You're not trying to like drive it down, but you just lift up a half an inch or so and then let it sit down. So we're just going to use our breath, and it's kind of a breath of fire, that fast repetitive, or not even fast, but the repetitive exhale. So it's going to be a or out the nose. See the belly snapping? That's what you want to feel, is that snapping. And it doesn't have to be super fast. Inhaling. Halfway. Three, two, one. Take a deep breath in. Squeeze to the pelvic floor, pull the energy up and in, hold the air in. Exhale, let it go. Take a breath. Nice. We're going to have a second set of our bottom drops. So when you're ready, inhale up. Three, two, one. Take a deep breath in. Squeeze and hold, pull all the way up energetically. Feel the energy through the pelvic floor, the stomach, the heart, up into the chest, the throat, all the way up to the third eye and out through the top of the head. Pull in and up. One more sip. Exhale out through the mouth. Nice. We're going to take a moment and gently release the blocks out. Extend the legs out long. Nice. You can wiggle the legs out if it feels good. Maybe your knees or ankles feel tight from being in the seat. Just kind of get some energy moving. Nice. And then from here, we're going to make our way gently down, soles to the mat, feet 6 or 8 inches apart, and then lower down onto the back. If it feels good, you might bring yourself onto the elbows or forearms, and this is a good place to be. If it feels better for you to go all the way down, you can. And we're just going to take a few windshield wipers here, so we're going to take our knees to the left, and I really feel this through the hips and low back, and to the right. And it feels different when you're propped up when you're all the way down, so variations are good. You can try it both ways, see what feels good in your body. So inhaling to center, exhaling to one side. Both knees to one side. Inhaling center, exhaling to the other side. Close your eyes and just let this become a meditation. Coming back to center, inhale, and to the side, exhale. Imagine the balloon within your belly, your bowl of light being filled with every inhale. Belly expanding, inhale, exhaling, emptying. Just moving with your breath. If you're on your elbows, gently pressing down through your elbows to lift your chest up so you're not dipping in to the shoulders. And then let this breath be your dance as you just move with the breath, getting lost in the action. Push through any little tiny mild discomforts or, wonderings of when it's going to end, and allow yourself just to be present in the breath and the movement. Fortify your elbows in your chest if you feel like you've started to sag at all. Or maybe you're all the way on your back if it's become too much pressure in your shoulders or neck. You're doing amazing. We're over halfway. Inhale, come back to center. Draw the knees gently together. And then exhale, slowly lower yourself down onto your mat. Just for a moment on your back with your knees together, your feet wide. Feel the connection of your sacrum, your low back energy to the earth. Gently pull the belly in. Feel the activation through your bowl of light as you squeeze in and up, fortifying through the pelvic floor up into the rib cage. Maybe the hands are gently resting on the hips or the belly, feeling that engagement. That softening inward movement. And then gently release soles to the feet together, knees out wide, Supta Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose. And you can take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly if you'd like. Eyes closed and just breathe. Allow this energy to move through your body with your breath. Feel the opening through the hips and the thighs. Squeeze through the bowl of light. Gently press the soles of the feet together, activating through the pelvic floor. Feel the energy coming all the way up through the base of your bowl, squeezing in, fortifying. Feel that nice, engaged, active energy. As we squeeze and engage through the pelvic floor and the abdominal muscles, this pelvic lock, we create integrity, this nice, secure foundation to build upon, and everything else in the body stacks upon that foundation. So as we keep that attention to our soles gently pressing and squeezing in through the pelvic floor and the Kegel muscles pulling in and up, we feel this nice strong integrity, even through the hips and through the thighs, the quads. Just take another breath, another moment here. Feel that strength and length. And then slowly exhale, extend the legs out long. Take the arms overhead, taking a rack stretch. So reach your arms overhead, your feet long, finding length and stretching. Feel a nice opening energy as you soften through the belly and let it stretch. Exhale, release the hands and the feet for just a moment. Close the eyes if they're not already closed, and just breathe. Allow that energy to move up and down the body like a wave, a ripple. Feel the integrity through the midsection, now traveling down into the legs, into the soles, and up into the abdomen and the heart, through the throat, the head, the neck, the arms, up to the crown, to the hands. This ease of flow and fluid energy. When you're ready, reach up, grab on top of the knees or shins, just taking a moment to pull the knees gently in towards the chest, keeping the head and the neck down on the ground. If it feels good, you can rock side to side, getting a little bit more deeper into the lower back, lumbar, maybe the top of the gluteals. Taking the knees far away, getting into the glutes, or maybe bringing them up closer, getting more into the lumbar. Find what feels good and right for you. You can go in a circle, you can go left, right. Just making sure you kind of wiggle around and get what feels good here. Nice. And then when you're ready, the hands can stay on top of the shins, or they can gently place on the hamstrings behind the knees. And we're just going to slowly rock and roll forward and back. And this is a slow rock. It's not trying to get up to your seat real quick. We want to move through the body, opening through the spine and getting this nice massage along the paraspinal muscles, this warming up of the posterior side. And just taking a few moments, maybe 5, 6, 7 rock and rolls. There's no rush. And once you're ready and you've got some momentum, we'll just slowly make our way up to our seat. Extending the legs long, taking a moment. Maybe bring yourself back a little bit if you need to. Grab your cheeks and pull them out of the way. Nice. As we do so, we're going to sit up tall, and so lengthen through the crown. The legs are long, flexing the toes towards you. Maybe even gently pressing down on the quad with your hands if it feels good. This is Dandasana, our staff pose from our seat. As we flex our toes towards our nose, we press the soles out. We're stretching through the back sides of the legs, the calves. Just taking a moment here. Nice slow deep breath in, gently squeezing in and up through the pelvic floor, through your bowl of light. Feeling the connection point of everything that's touching the earth, through the seat, through the hamstrings, the calves, the heels. And then when you're ready, we're gonna gently bend the knees. Maybe it's a little bend, maybe it's a big bend. Reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Try to keep your spine as long as you can. So we're not gonna dump down. We wanna lift up and go as far forward as we can. Maybe grabbing the feet, maybe hands around the ankles or calves. If you want, you can always use a band or a belt to help bring them closer, if that helps get support for you. Nice. And then once you have a grip on something, the knees can stay bent. Forward fold, head down towards the ground or the knees, or maybe the legs are going to slowly straighten if that's available in your hamstrings and you have that flexibility. So go ahead and pull long and then melt down, head towards the earth. Just a nice slow stretch for the back side of the body, stretching through the calves, the hamstrings, even feeling it along the paraspinal muscles, the hips, the posterior side of the hips, up the back side of the spine, into the shoulders, the back of the neck, even as the head is heavy, 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 and breathing in and out through the nose, nice and slow. Allow the weight of the head to be the thing that deepens your stretch. Maybe a gentle pulling in of the belly, create more space to exhale, deepen and stretch forward more. Take 3 more breaths right here. Last one. Nice. Slow and gently begin to unravel as you lift yourself up. Take another moment here in your staff pose, flexing the toes towards your nose as you sit up through the crown, pressing down through the seat. Legs are nice and long and straight. And if this feels like a stretch in your hamstrings, then enjoy it. If you need to bend the knees, you're always welcome to bend the knees gently if it's too much pressure. Nice. From here, we're going to take the feet apart. And so you can sit sideways on your mat if it feels good for you, or maybe just the mat width is good for you. I generally like to have my feet wide, but I like to have the support under my heels. It's a harder floor, so I really enjoy having that support under my heels. So I'm going to stay on the mat today. If you'd like, though, you're always welcome to, again, come into this nice wide leg post posture. What feels good and right for you today. Again, grab the cheeks, pull them out the way. Find the width that feels good for you at the legs. And then we're just going to inhale, and we're going to slide down forward over the right leg. Exhale over the leg, inhale, come back up, and then exhale over the left. So we're going to inhale, exhale. And if you can grab the foot and you want to keep a grip on this, you can just use the breath to gently pull. Otherwise, go ahead and slide the hands down. Inhaling to center, exhaling over the leg. Switching sides. Inhale. And allowing the seat to stay down, and again, the legs straight if available, especially if you need to widen it. If you feel like there's pressure here and it's hard to keep your legs straight, maybe a little tiny pillow under your glutes to lift your hips up might help this, take the pressure off the attachments of your hamstrings. And so just putting a pillow under your seat, just giving you that little bit of a support. And this can be as slow or as paced as you want with your breath. Eventually it build up to be a little bit of a faster movement here. And so we can create some opening in the hips, low back, some action through the core, nice stretch to the hamstrings. The more intentional and focused you are with that nice strong breath, the more powerful this workout is for your lungs, working through the respiratory system, and beautiful opening through the pulmonary systems, getting this nice opening of energy and flow, air moving through the body, pumping air. Maybe flexing your toes towards your nose, getting a little deeper into the calf and hamstrings, into the Achilles tendon with this. Maybe feeling more opening through your low back as you use your hand to pull a little bit deeper into the stretch with the head towards the foot. Maybe widening the feet apart if it feels good. Over halfway. Get lost in the meditation. Don't worry about the action. You've done the pose. Just focus on the breath and the movement through the body. Moving the breath, moving the body. Slow and intentional if it serves you. More deep through the whole breath in the body, or maybe there's some repetition with some speed if that serves you. As long as you don't feel like you're getting anxious or hyperventilating in it, or you're racing your breath, make sure you're fully embodying the breath, filling the lungs, and using that big muscle through the respiratory system, through the lungs, to get this beautiful pumping and pulsing. You breathe out the mouth if it serves. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, walk your hands straight forward, forward fold the torso down. Maybe the head goes down towards the ground. Just let the head be heavy. If available, keep your toes flexing towards you with your heels extended, legs long.
And then just melt forward. If you notice your toes begin to go pointing away from you, that's okay. Just take a moment and just melt into the posture. Perhaps walking the hands further forward and then melting down. Maybe squeezing through the pelvic floor and the base chakra, pulling up and in. Exhale, melt more. You say right here, if it feels nice, one hand at a time, place behind your neck. Maybe interlace the hands and let the weight of the hands on the neck, just let the head dip even more, deepening the stretch into your hamstrings. We're not pulling on the head, we're just letting gravity do the work here. Three more breaths. See what you can let go and soften, let go and soften, let go and soften. Gently release the hands back to the earth as you walk them towards you to lift up. Draw the legs together. Nice. Take a breath sitting tall, Dandasana staff pose. Take a moment to feel this energy. Maybe close the eyes or just scan the body with your breath and your awareness. Your awareness is like a flashlight, like you're being scanned head to soul and just seeing where you feel the energy in the body. For me right now, I'm feeling it under the shoulder blades, kind of at that bra strap area on the back side of my body. Feeling a little bit through the anterior hips and the side here through my iliac crest. And so just for a moment, scan where are you feeling it in your body. Take a deep breath into that area. Squeeze and hold the air in, pulling up and in through the pelvic floor towards the crown. Exhale, empty, release. Draw the hands behind you. We're going to take the palms facing down and we're going to slide them right under the edge of the buttocks. Yep, I said it. All right. Once you're there, slowly roll the weight back onto the elbows. So we kind of were here earlier, but now our hands are under the edge of the crease of the tush. Our chest is going to lift up. And now we're going to focus on the breath of fire again, the snapping in of the belly with that exhale. It doesn't have to be fast, it can be slow, but we're going to come into this supported pose with our elbows pressing down, lifting our chest up. And you can stay right here. Your heels are pressing down into the earth together, pointing your toes. You're going to notice your feet are going to want to splay open, but see if you can keep them rotated in gently as you press down through the heels. Squeeze the core and the pelvic floor, this pulling up energy, and we're actually going to be lifting our hips up off the ground, and it might be a millimeter, it might even still be touching the ground, but you're energetically lifting up. It's going to be different. If you've never done the pose before, don't judge yourself if you're not feeling like you're a rock star first. I'm not either. Squeeze, press the elbows down, engage the pelvic floor, pull up and in, and then press the heels down and the elbows down to gently lift the hips up. Maybe a millimeter, maybe they're off, the buns are off the ground, maybe they're touching the hands still, but feel the energy lifting up, and then we're going to breath of fire. Looking down towards the toes, keeping them rotated in, pressing the heels down, the elbows down. Let your hips set down for just a minute. Keep breathing. Press the heels down, lift the hips up. Set the hips down, keep breathing. Adjust, walk the elbows in closer if you need to. Last one, here we go. Press the heels down, elbows down, lift the hips up. Deep breath in, squeeze and hold, lift up for 3, 2, 1. Gently release the hips, release the hands all the way onto your back. Shavasana, just melt. Release the feet, the hands. Soften. Scan the body. Where do you feel the awareness? Low back, elbows, hips, ankles, heart. Breathe. Feel that beautiful rush of energy moving, that wave over the body. Nice. Taking a moment, we're going to squeeze our core and our pelvic floor. Our legs are going to be together. We're going to come into this kind of boat energy as we are going to lift our feet up and our hands up. Our palms are going to face towards each other, and they're reaching towards the feet, but we're not going to lift all the way up. We're just going to lift up enough to engage the core. Shoulder blades are off the ground. Palms are facing. Nice. And then this is a stretch pose. We're going to lift the feet up, point the toes, and again, we're squeezing the core of the pelvic floor. This whole area, our bowl, is going to be lifted up with energy, integrity, and then breath of fire. I stay focused towards the big toes. Keep squeezing. You can set it down, take a break if you need to for a breath or two, and come back and join. Halfway. Keep squeezing. Squeeze the thighs together, lift the legs 1 inch higher. Keep breathing. Three, two, one. Stretch, squeeze, lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, relax. Rack stretch. Melt the arms, the feet, stretch it wide, and then just melt to the earth. Feel the ripple of energy moving. Scanning the body. Beautiful. When you're ready, draw the soles to the mat, to the edge of the mat. And then again, windshield wipering, taking our legs to the right and the left. Both knees move together. This time we're all the way down in the back, getting a little bit different opening. Drawing your attention to your bowl of light, feeling that movement through the anterior hip crest, the iliacus, through the psoas. Woo! So much goodness. If you like to kind of touch base to see where your hip flexors are, maybe your hands gently rest right on the inside of the hip pockets. That little rounding of your pelvic bowl kind of come right onto the inside. And just kind of palpate or just kind of press with finger pressure. See if you feel anywhere that feels tender, and then breathe into it. And you can hold right there, or you can take your thumbs and you can actually lock them in and kind of press to the inside of the bowl as you take them side to side, getting a little pin and stretch, which is a nice feeling sometimes. Sometimes it's intense. I find for me, this penny and stretching of this interior iliac while I take this windshield wiper helps to unlock my hip and low back energy. If I feel tension through my hips and low back, especially kind of that low back right on the back side of your hip. Just taking a breath or two. Nice. When you're ready, both knees come to the right side. Next time you're on the right side, we're going to hang here for a minute. You can take your hands behind your head if it feels good. And just rest. Imagine you're hanging out at the beach with the sun on you and you hear the waves crashing on the rocks, the seagulls out in the distance squawking. And then if you'd like a little more, gently take your right foot, lift it up and place it on top of the left knee or thigh as you just intensify a little bit that big deep stretch through the left hip, low back. Breathing. Letting everything be soft with gravity and just focus on the breath. You should feel this nice big stretch happening at the low back on the left side, and then maybe that wrapping around and up and in through the hip flexor and the top of the left side. If you'd like, you can squeeze through the belly and the pelvic floor, pulling up and in, and as you do that, engaging of the pelvic floor in your bowl of light, gently press the knee down more towards the earth on the right side and squeeze for that beautiful tractioning up into the lateral rotators of the hip glute. Take another breath. Stretching the back side of the glutes. Woo. 3 and 2. And then release the top foot. Just taking a moment to hang here. Soften the belly and just let gravity melt. Inhaling when you're ready, we'll come to the left side. And then back to the right one time. Inhaling back to center. And then both knees come to the left side. As you make your way to the left side again this time, we're just going to melt first to start. Soften with gravity, no rush. And allow your awareness to move through the body. When you let go of the constricting and the working of the muscles and you just let gravity work, let the mind move in awareness, observing what it feels like in your body. Can you feel it on the right side of the low back and the hips? Maybe you feel it more in the anterior, maybe more in the posterior. Give yourself just a few moments here and breathe into this energy. Nice. When you're ready, we'll inhale, lifting the left leg up, placing the left foot on top of the right knee or thigh, and letting the hips and legs move deeper to the left side. As you deepen this stretch to the left side, you're going to feel some energy through the right low back and hip, and that's okay. That's where we want to have that opening. So as we just melt towards the ground, we feel the big stretch happening up and around into the right side lumbar, maybe some glute hip energy, and then we can just melt. Again, if you like to palpate and feel the pressure, feel the tension, feel where the work is happening, you can put your hand on it and breathe into your hand. Otherwise, just keeping the hands overhead and just melting into it for about 5 breaths. Close the eyes and just soften. Softening into this energy and letting go of everything else. And then if you want, go ahead and engage through the pelvic floor and the belly. Squeeze in through the pelvic floor and up, and then take the knees, pressing them down further to the left side, getting that nice constriction. And as you contract and you feel the pulling up, the tractioning through the abdomen, the right hip, into the glute a little more deeply, and then soften and melt. No more activity and action, just surrender. Releasing the left leg, letting it melt for a moment here. Gently windshield wipering up to the right side. And into the left side. And back to the right side. Nice. When you're ready, we're going to bring the knees back up. We're going to inhale, lift the feet up, and coming into either grabbing the backs of the hamstrings, pulling down and wide into kind of this dead bug pose on your back, or if you have the flexibility, reach up and grab the feet, taking this into a happy baby. So the feet are going to be stacked wide over the knees, and then the hands are going to wrap around the feet, pulling the feet down with the hands towards the earth, so your knees are pressing down in towards your armpits or towards the ground, and then gently pressing up with your soles and feel your low back on the ground. So if your tush and low back have rolled all the way up, see if you can bring it back down by drawing the feet away from your head and then pulling the feet down towards the earth to traction your sacrum and low back, your lumbar onto the earth, and then gently pushing it up with your feet to give a nice little resistance here. From here, we're going to squeeze through the pelvic floor as it feels nice and open here in this stretch. We're going to go ahead and pull up and in, engaging the belly and the bowl of light, and hold this compression. You can stay right here for the next 5 breaths, or if you like, you can take a little tiny micro movement, just slowly rocking side to side like the breeze through the leaves of a tree. Without any big movements, just a nice slow invitation to open side to side, rocking and massaging along the low back and the sacrum. We have these sacral dimples, these kind of grooves that the ligaments go through in your low back along the sacrum, so below the lumbar. And this is a nice massaging of that energy. Of course, this pelvic floor energy holds a lot of our reproductive energy, and so this is really a beautiful, healthy thing for opening the energy through the reproductive meridians or channels and getting some fluid, some movement, some blood flow radiating down through this area. If the outside of the feet's not available grip, you can always grab the inside, make it a little bit more open if you're feeling tight. We just have a few more moments here, maybe a little wider rock side to side, moving out just a few more inches into the outside of the low back and the hip. Nice. And then coming back to center. You can stay right here, or if it feels good, extend your right leg straight or kind of straight, depending on how open your hamstrings are. If you have that solid grip, you can hold right here, taking your feet away from one another, stretching deeper in through the inside groin, just for a nice slow breath or two. So I'm still pulling down with my left hand on my left foot, tractioning in that half happy baby. I only said half of it, that was funny. And then the right side is extended out into that hamstring stretch. Deeper opening through the connection down at the base. Nice. When you're ready, maybe slowly bend the right knee and then extend the left leg out. Straightening the left leg, maybe rolling off to the side just a little bit as you're pulling down with the right leg, and then taking the left foot away from the right foot, deepening the stretch into the hamstring and the glute while keeping the nice deep bend on the right side. Still tractioning. Our hands and arms are working just about 30% energy, just working enough to get the lock out and that contraction, and then just resting into it, holding the shape and breathing. Sometimes there's a slight movement with your breath as you rock, no big deal. Take just another breath here. Nice. Slowly, we're going to release the feet, draw the knees back into the chest and give them a deep squeeze. Tuck your chin to your chest, so you're looking towards your kneecaps. Your head and neck are still on the ground, and just feel your low back pressing into the mat. Squeeze the pelvic floor and the belly in. Keep pulling the knees down towards your chest. Feel the heat in the low back. It's like someone just turned the volume up on the heat pad under us. Feel all that energy and blood flow and circulation happening. And then take your feet up towards the ceiling. The hands can either come down to the ground, or you can lift your hips up and place the hands palms face down under the low back, or you can grab your block and place the block under the low back if you like that. I like to have the block kind of at an angle so that the flat part is on my low back instead of the corner or the edge of it being digging into my low back. So you don't want to have that edge, if it's hard cork edge, digging into the spinal column. So find a flat place if you're going to use it, or you can use your hands, which is an amazing compression into the wrist and getting to stretch and open through your flexors and extensors of your wrist. If you have the block underneath you at that angle, your hips are up high, and then we're just going to let the feet relax here for a moment. You can close your eyes or keep your attention up towards the feet. And then from here, pull the belly in, squeeze the pelvic floor, feel the beautiful bowl of light, the integrity we worked on before, squeezing in and up, and imagine you're like moving that bowl from down at the pelvic floor in your stomach to more up into the heart center. Feel the energy rushing and flooding back through the hips and the pelvic floor and the reproductive system, all the way back up to the heart center, where those beautiful blood cells are getting reoxygenated. Flushing energy from the soles and the toes, down through the Achilles, the calves, the shins, the knees, the hamstrings, the quads, the glutes. And as our hips are elevated slightly, the block under them or our hands, we're lifting them up just slightly to try to get our hips above the heart so the blood flow comes all the way back to the heart. And so that elevation is part of the benefit of that full flush back to the heart for our circulation, and cardiovascular flush. When we do lower our legs, we get all this energy to do the exact opposite, where it's rushing down to nourish the feet, the toes, the arches, the heels and ankles and calves and Achilles and knees and hamstrings and quads. But for now, just breathe. If you start feeling pins and needles, some tingling, you're in the right place. Just melt and breathe. It won't last too long. Squeezing the pelvic floor up and in, feel the integrity through the bowl of light. As you do engage through your bowl of light, you feel like the hips become lighter. You might even be able to lift them up a little higher or slide the block even further underneath the hips. I like my hands to hold the block so it doesn't slide out. And this feels good for me, this opening, keeping that nice 45-degree angle of the block so the flat, big surface of the block is across my sacrum or my low back. I'm getting some definite tingling and pins and needles in my feet. If you are, you're right where you need to be. We're just a few more moments. And then come back to your intention. What is that feeling or that outcome, your outcome that you invited in when we opened the door to start our practice? How can you invite that energy into this posture? Inviting it from the soles all the way down the legs to the hips, from the base all the way up through the spine to the crown. When you're ready, gently bend the knees to 90 degrees. And then we're slowly going to begin to draw the feet down to the earth, slow motion, pressing the feet down to lift the hips up, releasing the hands or the block for just a moment. And this might feel good right here. You can stay here. You can take your Supta Baddha Konasana with the soles together, knees wide, or you can extend your legs all the way out long, just taking a moment to scan the body, to breathe. Moment of awareness. If you're not already there, slowly extend the legs out long, sliding them all the way out. Resting your legs out long on your back, hands to your hips, like you're putting them in the pockets of your jeans, finding that hip crest. Just take 3 more nice slow breaths, connecting with the abdomen. Feeling it rise and fall. You draw the soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to deepen into our pelvic bowl, into this beautiful strengthening and lengthening of energy. And so we can do this by using a resistance band or a strap if you have one. You can also just use your hands, which I'm going to demonstrate today. So I'll come to a little bit of an angle. So we're still on the back. And here we're going to take our hands and press our hands onto the tops of our quadriceps, our thighs, just below the knees. Flexing your toes to your nose, we're going to pull the knees towards us with our knee energy, our feet energy dragging back towards the head, and our hands are gently pressing into the quads, keeping that 90 degree and giving some resistance. And so go ahead and give yourself that little bit of an engaged energy. Nice, you can lift the head off the ground if it feels good, and then we're just going to take a breath of fire here. Keeping that resistance at about 40% energy. Squeeze through your pelvic floor, pull up and in. Feel that strengthening and lengthening, like the strings of a puppet being pulled up and in, keeping the core engaged. Pulling the pit of the belly down towards the earth. Deep breath in, squeeze and hold. Resist, squeeze, push, 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 push. Exhale, knees to chest. Nice. Lift the legs up, take a breath in. Exhale the air out. Bend the knees back to 90 degrees. This time we're going to take our hands and we're going to cross our hands into an X, and then our palms are going to come to the inside of our knees or thighs. And you can either do that, or if that doesn't feel good, you can take your hands and put them together as like a fist and stack them. So we're gonna have our hands in between our knees, and we're giving some resistance there. So you can either choose to use your hands pressing out or stack the wrist, whichever feels better for you. If it's too much pressure on the shoulders with the hands at an X, go ahead and just bring your hands together with your fists stacked on one another. So we're pushing our knees out with our hands and then squeezing through the pelvic floor and pressing in with our knees, giving resistance. D still at 90, squeeze the pelvic floor. Feel the pulling up and in from down here, this pulling up. It's like an anterior wedgie of the abdominal muscles. And then you can keep your head up as you tuck your chin to your chest, engaging through the core muscles, squeezing the bowl of light, and give your resistance, and we're going to breath of fire. If it's ever too much on the head and neck, you can always let your head relax down, or just let your chin come down to your chest, taking the pressure off of the neck, but still giving the resistance with the hands, still squeezing through the pelvic floor and the bowl of light, and breathing. Go as slow or as fast as it feels right for you. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Keep breathing. Keep resisting. Deep breath in. Squeeze and hold. Resist. Press in and out. Find that energy for 3, 2, 1. Knees to your chest. Exhale. Take a breath. Wiggle the feet. Legs up in the air just for a moment. Deep breath in. Exhale it out. Place your hands on your abdomen. Feel this energy through your abdomen. This deep transverse abdominis, this beautiful deep lower abdominal muscle that we're working here. As we squeeze in and focus on that resistance, we're triggering and activating muscles deep in our core. Nice. Here we go. Bend the knees to 90 degrees once more, flexing your toes towards your body. Squeeze up and in. Give yourself that engaged abdominal energy. Gently lift the head off the mat. Tuck your chin to your chest. Hands are on the outside this time. And you can either keep them left hand, left knee, right hand, right knee, or if it feels better for you, you can cross them over and give yourself that kind of energy. We're going to take our knees and push out with our knees, and we're pushing in with our hands to resist. Exhale the air out. Squeeze the pelvic floor, and let's begin breath of fire. Again, chin to chest. Squeeze the bowl. Halfway. Squeeze the belly down towards the earth. Keep going. 3, 2, 1. Deep breath in. Squeeze and hold. Push and resist. Squeeze the belly. Squeeze the pelvic floor for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees to chest. Exhale. Inhale, legs up long and tall. Exhale, soften the breath. Take a moment to wiggle the feet, the ankles. Get some energy moving. Nice. Gently release the feet down to the ground, feet out to the width of the mat, and then we're just going to windshield wiper a couple of times each direction. Observe what it feels like in your body, in your hips, your low back, in your transverse abdominis, deep to the pelvic floor, and through your Kegel muscles. What feels different? Beautiful. From here, we are going to slowly draw the hands behind the knees once more, or the shins, for a rock and roll, taking 3 or 4 or 5 rocks to get up to your seat. We will slowly make our way onto our belly, but there's no rush. Once you're there, you can come all the way up, crossing the ankles, and then sending the legs back behind you. Taking a moment or two, and lowering all the way down onto the belly. Slide back just a snitch so I can be on full view. Awesome. All right. Woo. Lower all the way down Arms to your side, pick an ear, and just look one direction. Maybe close your eyes, reach your hands down towards your feet, lengthening the shoulders away from the ears, and then soften the arms and just melt for a breath. Bend your knees, bring your feet up towards the ceiling, and then take your feet side to side. Just windshield wiper the legs for a moment. Get this nice little opening through the front side of the hips. That stretch through the low back a little bit, opening. Pick your head up, look the opposite direction. Continue windshield wipering. If it feels good and right, come back to center with your chin and with your legs and flex your toes towards the back of the room and pull your heels towards your tush, just stretching out through the quadricep for a moment. Maybe you're reaching the hands back. You're not trying to touch the heel, but imagine you could as you lift the chest up and then soften, lower the legs and the arms all the way down. Pick one ear, look that direction, melt. Draw your awareness to the body as you just let that ripple of energy open through the low back. And then draw the hands to the ground. We're setting up for our low cobra. So we're going to bring our legs together, zip up the legs, press the tops of the feet down. The hands are under the shoulders. Exhale the air out. Press the hands down, squeeze the pelvic floor, pressing your business down towards the earth, like you're kissing the mat with your business, and then lifting the chest up as you draw your elbows back, walking the hands back. Maybe the hands are just maybe 50% energy. Just kind of placeholders. We're not pushing down like a push-up with our hands. We're pressing the feet, the big toes, the legs down to lift our chest up. Beautiful, strengthening through the lower back. Continue maybe looking down at the mat or just gently in front of your mat a few inches. Squeeze the elbows and the chest back, lifting up for 5, 4, 3, 2, lower all the way down. Other ear on the mat, release the hands, just breathe. Hands come back under the shoulders or maybe back towards the hips a little bit closer. Zip up your legs, press the tops of the feet down, exhale the air out. Inhale, rise up, squeeze the legs, pressing the legs together and down. Nice. Continue pressing the legs and thighs together, the calves together, and pressing the whole lower leg body down into the earth as you lift the chest up. Squeeze the elbows back. Hands might float or just gently pressing down. Nice. If you are finger painting your handprint into your mat, it's just barely enough to have the impression into the mat. There's not a lot of displacement. Squeeze and lift the elbows back. Gently lift up for 3, 2, gently lower down. Take a deep breath, look the opposite direction, release the arms. Oh, if it feels good, you can windshield wiper the legs, bending the knees. Draw the hands to the mat, gently lift the chest up. We're coming into our Sphinx pose, so our hands are going to be palms facing down. As our palms are facing down, our elbows are going to be right under our shoulders. So they're going to stay in line. They're not going to be out wide because then it dips the chest down and it takes the integrity of the posture out. We want to support ourselves with our bones, not our muscles here. So our palms are face down. Elbows are about 6 or 7 inches apart, right under the shoulders. And then your feet can be out wide to the edge of the mat. From here, we're going to press the elbows down and drag the chest or heart forward. Visualize yourself with a cape as a superhero. And then you're drawing that emblem on your chest, that logo, forward and up with pride. As you press the elbows down and inward, you drag the chest up and forward, looking up or forward or gently out in front of you or closing the eyes. Imagine your logo, your gift to the world, that's shining off of your heart center, your chest, proudly, boldly. And then as you're pressing down with the elbows, lifting up through the heart, just softening through the low back, you feel a beautiful opening, stretch through the front side of the hips, and strengthening and opening to the low back. Draw your attention to what this logo, this emblem on your chest represents. What is this beautiful gift or superpower that you have that no one else has in your formulation on this entire planet? What is the gift that you have to offer? What is the strength that you have to stand strong in? What is this superpower that resonates in every cell of your being, that vibrates your own frequency or code? a few nice slow deep breaths and just let that marinate and resonate. Imagine that energy expanding outward all around you, covering your entire mat, beginning to move outward, covering the 3 to 4 feet around your mat. This beautiful auric field, this bubble of energy of your superpower, the vibration lifting upwards. It tonifies, purifies, and cleanses any low vibration, toxicity, negativity, doubt, fear, dis-ease. When we're in this space of high vibration energy, the body resonates, which means it mirrors, it responds. It can't help but get swept up in the party. It's really hard to be around high energy, high vibration, positive people and have a ho-hum, glum energy. And so your body does the same thing. And when we lift and raise our vibrations, we bring our superpower up and revel in our gifts and expand our energy. Everything in our body, energy mirrors. It syncs and lines up. And so just hold this energy for another moment. Opening, lifting, increasing possibility for 3, 2, gently lowering down. Release your hands to stack on one another with the forehead resting and melt. You can stay right here, or if you like, bend the knees and just slowly windshield wiping feet side to side, opening for the low back, feeling that nice stretch on the front side hips. Drawing the hands to the mat. When you're ready, we're going to press up, lifting up onto the hands and the knees, tabletop. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Long spine, squeeze the belly in. Toes can be tucked under or down. Feel the length of the crown reaching forward towards the front of the mat and the length of your tailbone reaching towards the back of the room, in between your feet on the mat. Keep the belly up and in, squeezing and fortifying through your bowl of light. Taking just a few rounds of our cow-cat. Inhaling, belly low, heart forward. Exhaling, hips back, arch the spine up. Exhale. Go slow, move with the breath. Inhale, belly low, forward. Exhale, arch. Nice, we've got 3 or 4 more, so you can find whatever movement feels good here for you. Maybe you move the hips back at an angle, opening into rib cage, coming back to center. Exhale the other direction. Maybe you have a circular movement. Maybe you stretch and remove the hands in a different position. Take just freestyle movement within what feels good and right in your body, stretching, opening through your rib cage, through your spine, through your wrists and your arms. Maybe wagging your tail, looking side to side, stretching side body. Perhaps adjusting your hands, palms facing up. Stretching the back side of the wrist. Nice. When you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift the right foot, bring it up outside the right hand. So your hand and your foot are kind of next to each other. Imagine you're, in kindergarten, you're making that beautiful imprint of your hand and your foot to take home to put on the Christmas tree for your parents. Yes, yes, yes. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely thought. From here, you can stay here. This might be a good stretch. You might feel this opening happening right here, and it might feel like it's good and intense, and this is awesome. If you want to turn the volume up and you feel more open, slowly put the weight in your hands and walk your left knee back, extending your left leg long. Top of the foot's going to rest on the mat behind you. And this might be your posture. This might feel really good right here. Keeping the weight distributed over the hands. The arms are locked out, so we're not having to do muscle work here. And then from here, you can slowly round your right knee out to the side, opening the sole of your foot towards the hand. And then deepening this stretch into the right hip thigh. From here, our goal is to keep our left hip pointing down and not to roll off to the side. Left leg is extended straight back behind us. And then we can stay right here on the hands, or we can lower all the way down onto the elbows as we draw the forearms down to the mat, kind of like our Sphinx. If the earth is too far, if you want to support yourself, you can always use your blocks, because blocks are not limitations. Blocks are simply a elevated point of awareness or perspective, something to challenge us, to change us, or grow us. And so we can use these blocks and maybe lower down onto the forearms from here with blocks so it's not as intense in the hips. And then we soften our belly and our undercarriage. Our bowl of light now becomes this soft, malleable, gravity-prone support system. As we try to melt our hips down, it deepens the stretch into the right side, hip, groin. And then from here, we can let our head rest on our thumbs or stack the hands and resting them right there. I like to rest my thumbs right into the inside of my eyebrows into an acupoint called bladder 1, which opens the whole posterior side of the body from the neck down to the low back to the outside of the pinky toes. And so this pressing up with my thumbs into gently the hair, right where the hair starts at the inside of my eyebrows, and then just resting the head and the neck. Whew, this is a good intense stretch for me. Breathe into the discomfort. It's no different than our breath of fire holding our long poses. There's always a point of discomfort or resistance, the rub in the pose, and our job is to breathe through it, because our breath and our ability to stay in an uncomfortable situation and breathe through it, feeling supported by the earth and by our body, and feeling strong enough in our mental power and our breath to dissipate the discomfort, to move through it, and just to stay present and create space and time for opening to happen, for the universe to open this space, this portal, this opportunity for us to grow and receive and become and release. It only happens when you go through something. It doesn't happen when you avoid it. So we welcome this beautiful discomfort for a season so that we can stretch and grow and progress and open ourselves to be able to take over a new energy of confidence and a new space of opportunity and ability and ease through discomfort. We laugh in the face of the slight discomfort, and we breathe. And if it ever becomes pain or to the edge of discomfort where you really can't stand it, then you lift yourself up, bring yourself back to the point prior in the posture where you could hold it without feeling the discomfort at that same level. We're not here for super duper duper much longer, so we just need to breathe. Maybe slowly beginning to walk your hands back in if you're not already there, drawing the right foot back to the mat. Inviting the left knee back up. So we're weight on the left knee, on the hands, and on the right foot, coming back to where we started from the posture. And then from here, we're pressing the tailbone back and the crown forward. The eyes are looking down towards the hands. Squeeze the belly up and in. Press down through the right sole and feel the right hamstring engage with some energy. Just for a few moments here. If your hands are on blocks, awesome. You can keep them right there. If you're not on the blocks and you're on the ground, that's okay too. It's just going to mean that you're going to have a little bit more engaged energy to get a little higher in the posture. So we're going to tuck our left toes under and then lift the back knee up. The back leg is extended nice and straight and long. Our arms are locked out. Our hands are secure on the ground or the blocks. And then we're pulling the belly up off of the right thigh. Your feet are kind of at this hip width distance apart this way, the horizontal position. So you're not on a tightrope. We're kind of like railroad tracking it. So we have space for our hips to be open. And then we're squeezing the left leg strong and straight as we lift the left heel higher. So we're bouncing across the arch or the pad of the big toe, second toe, third toe, maybe fourth toe, maybe the pinky toes lifted up, and then pull the belly in and up. Press down through your right sole, squeezing. You should feel the undercarriage, the left hip and your business, and the right hip active. Squeeze the belly up and in. You can hold here, just breathing nice and slow. If you like a breath of fire, you could always do that too, engaging and firing this energy up. We're just here for the next 10. 3 and 2 and 1. Gently release the left knee down. Release the right leg back. Blocks can release. How easy it is to release blocks. Just let them go. And then again, we're going to take a moment just to wag the tail side to side, wiggle, move forward and back. What feels good and right in your body. Just freestyle. Maybe you let it extend your left leg back, bending the knee, opening the hip, a little half fire hydrant. Getting the energy out of that left hip. And let's do that with the other leg. Inhale, the right leg extends back. Bend the right knee up. Taking that little half fire hydrant. Opening the hip. Nice. Taking the knees together, slowly sink the tush back to the heels, and then we're just going to round forward into an embryo. So forehead down towards the ground. If it doesn't touch the ground, you can always let the forehead rest on a block. Hands release back, and we're just going to melt right there. Pull the belly in, squeeze the pelvic floor, get it out of the way, and deepen the stretch just a snitch more if there's space. Maybe the head touches down, maybe the forehead's to the knees. Exhale. Scanning just for a moment in this position, the hips, what feels different, right side, left side. Can you engage and practice surrendering or releasing the engagement through the pelvic floor, through your bowl of lights? Does it feel different? Can you deepen the stretch? When you're ready, hands to the earth, slowly begin to rise up. And we're going to take a moment here as we transition. Left foot's going to come up to the outside of the left hand. Again, we are in the posture, so there's already space right here. This is it. You don't have to go anywhere else if this feels good and right. The left leg and left arm are next to each other. Left foot, hand next to each other. You can stay here, or put the weight into the hand and slowly begin to walk the right knee back, extending the right leg back into the open space. Breathe. I already feel some stretch happening through my right quadricep, up into my hip flexors. This feels really good right here. And so I'm going to stay here for 3 or 4 breaths to find space to let that open that door before I try to go kicking another door down. You got to unravel and unwrap around the muscles into the fascia and create this beautiful, nice, slow, deep opening, which helps with our flexibility even more than the fast, muscular pushing. Surrendering our hips and belly down towards the earth. Again, you might stay here, or you can let the left knee go out to the side, the sole facing towards the pinky outside of your hand, and then stretch more into the hip. You can stay here, arms locked out, keeping this beautiful engaged energy of letting the hips sink down, keeping the right leg extended nice and directly behind the right hip. Or if you want, you can always grab your blocks and insert them, and maybe come down onto your forearms in that Sphinx energy. So whatever serves the body, kind of find the place that you're going to move in and out of the posture and do it with ease and support so it's not intense. This is about maybe 60% energy for me in a stretch. I'm not pushing the edge, trying to find the ultimate lengthening of the muscles. I'm trying to engage and invite them to soften and surrender within the posture, being held by these blocks, being held by the earth, and then softening and melting my bowl of light around it. Letting my hips and my business melt to the earth, deepening the stretch through the hips. Maybe resting the head to the thumbs or to the hands, relaxing the neck muscles. Breathe nice and slow. We just have about 4 or 5 more breaths to melt. Next, inhale, the hands are going to come back to the earth or the blocks as you begin to lift up, drawing the left sole back to the mat. Stacking the hands under the shoulders, pressing down through your left sole, tuck the right toes under, and then begin to lift the right leg up. Coming into our low crescent lunge here, our hands are still pressing down, putting weight into the hands, weight into the left foot, and then we're lifting the back heel up. The right leg is extended nice and long, so the knee is extended straight as you fire up through the leg, squeezing, lifting the heel high, and then pulling the belly up and in to create strength and integrity, pressing down through the left sole, and then the crown is shooting forward and the tailbone is shooting back. Long lines of energy, squeezing, engaging. Breath of fire if you like. Just have 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently release the right knee down, slowly unravel, release the left foot back. Taking the blocks, setting them off to the side if you utilize them, and then taking a moment to move in the body. Maybe a wagging side to side of the tail, maybe a little cat-cow. Getting a locomotion through your spine, your neck, your shoulders, your hips. Whew. And from here, we're going to spread our fingertips nice and wide, create starfishes. So thumbs point in, pointer fingers point forward. So if you look left and right, you know, like you make the L, that's what it's going to look like on the ground. And then the fingers are going to go out wide from there. Nice. Once your hands are spread out nice and wide, tuck your toes under, squeeze the pelvic floor and lift your hips up. Find your downward facing dog. And it might be that the knees are bent. That's okay. From here, press your hands out and down. All 10 fingers are pressing into the ground. Little tiny space of energy or a pillow of air underneath the palm. Nice. Squeeze the elbows forward, the elbow pits forward, and then press your hips back, your tailbone high. Bend your knees deeply. Pull the belly in. Breathe in and out the nose. Allow this beautiful stretch through the hips and low back. Pulling the belly in to feel like a comfort, an unwinding or unfurling of the tension. A rooting down through the hands and through the soles. A softening and surrendering of the cerebral, the head, the controlling, the knowing, and just softening. Take a deep breath in. Draw the knees out wide to the edge of the mat. Slowly make your way into a child's pose. The hands can stay where they are as you just sink the hips back. Maybe you walk your arms forward a little bit more, forehead to the ground or chin to the ground, what feels good for you in your body. And then just soften and surrender. Taking the knees out towards the edge of the mat if it's available. I like to have them on the mat, not on the hard floor. So if you have any pain or discomfort, make sure they have some softness under it, maybe a pillow, a blanket. And then just soften and melt. Find space to melt in your body. If you like, you can rock your forehead side to side, massaging across the brow. This is a seat of intuition or knowing, the Ajna chakra, and so we just massage this area. These same acupoints that we rested on our thumbs a few moments ago. Two more nice slow breaths, just melting to the earth. Slowly, when you're ready, the hands come back to the mat as you press down. Gently find your way to a seat, and so you can sit crisscross applesauce. You can sit on a pillow. You can sit on a block. What feels good and right for you? And then we just want to find that nice tall energy. And so as we do so, lifting up through the crown. Sometimes it's nice to have a focal point for your drishti. So whether it's a candle, whether it's an emblem on the front of your mat, or a logo or something of the sort, just give yourself a point of reference and then sit up tall, shoulders back, close the eyes, and try to find that nice tall alignment in the body.
Rounding the shoulders back. Again, the hands can be palms face down or palms face up, or maybe you take that cosmic bowl, drawing the left hand on top of the right with the thumbs to touch, and then softening your hands, cradling down into the lap. Drawing the tongue to the top front roof of the mouth, so it's right behind the top teeth, gently resting it there, and then breathing in and out through the nose. Drawing the attention perhaps to the third eye, right in between the eyebrows. At that seat of knowing, your seat of knowing, space where intuition is held, and just breathe. Take a nice slow deep breath. Breathe. Yes. Okay. Breathe. Feel the space that you created through the lungs, through your seat, through the pelvic floor. Just keeping this space for a few moments. With the same energy, we move through our discomfort with our breath of fire, holding postures. We can also move through the discomfort of stillness. And so just taking nice slow breaths, allowing space to unravel around the discomfort, around the breath, and allowing yourself just to be here. Coming back to the intention as we open the door and welcome this energy into our postures and into our week, into our breath, into all the aspects. We create space for possibility when we let go of the blocks, when we let go of the expectations, and we quit forcing and we just surrender. And so in this space, we surrender, knowing that things will always come up that are out of our control, that our perception can be shifted when we allow ourselves to sit in that space of discomfort long enough to break through the mind chatter, to release the control and surrender in a way that we create opening, to hold and breathe through discomfort long enough to find acceptance. And then we begin to perceive and receive the ease, the opportunity, and the flow that comes by just being present, grateful, connected to our breath. Connected to the power that is within us, as we are a conduit of this beautiful energy of the universe, this power and strength that moves through every cell with our thoughts, our feelings, as we turn the volume up and amplify the frequency, the vibration, the beautiful celebration, welcoming the energy into every part of our mind, body, and spirit. The dis-ease can flee because we rest and surrender in this knowing and this acceptance that we are perfect. Resonating light, taking responsibility and every opportunity to breathe deeper into this beautiful space of who we are, accepting what is, and being open. Just taking a moment when you're ready. Maybe slowly slide the arms up with your inhale. Cultivating and gathering this beautiful energy that you've created all around you and within you. Drawing the hands to touch. And then slowly exhaling as you draw them down to the heart. Inviting this gift inward, not just for this time that we sit here together, but drawing this beautiful gift and celebration, this welcoming of vibration through every cell of our body, that our frequency might be forever changed as a result of this moment, this intention, and this presence. And moving forward, every deep breath with intention that we take continues to turn the volume of the frequency up. Feeling this celebration at a cellular level, liberating any stress from our cells, from our body, from our minds, our thoughts, and creating this beautiful ease and surrender. Gently rub the palms together, inviting this beautiful heat and vibration and power deeper within the body, the mind, the intentions, every thought, moving forward into our visions, what's to come, and just resting, fingertips to forehead, taking 3 nice slow deep breaths. Inhaling the arms, hands over the head, and just wrapping yourself down the backside of the body, up into the heart center. Inhale, wrapping yourself in this beautiful bubble and cocoon of light energy, protection, and then drawing the hands back to heart center. May we move forward with ease, being open to an awareness within our mind, our body, and our spirit, what serves, to elevating this frequency and vibration within our cells, within our souls, within our mind and our thoughts. May we feel the ultimate joy of embodying this energy in the physical and moving forward with love and light. Drawing the hands to the third eye. Closing this practice today is taking a moment of gratitude. I'm so grateful each time we get to practice together, and I hope that you feel that energy and that the same beautiful vibration and resonance moves through your body that's moving through mine as we are one and connected. And so the divine light in me bows and honors the divine light in you. Namaste. Feeling that beautiful vibration even through the hands and the palms. Woo! Magic. Have an amazing, amazing week. Thank you for practicing. Until next time.